Hey everyone, stumbled upon some YouTube videos of people developing games using C++ and low-level libraries. Since I am familiar with C++ and have experience making games with Godot, I decided to try creating a basic clicker game using C++ and a low-level library. There are many low-level graphics library for C++ and I picked SFML. SFML will assist with fundamental tasks like rendering graphics, playing sounds, and handling keyboard events. I opened Visual Studio and created a new project. Setting up SFML was straightforward thanks to the clear documentation on their website. I was able to create a window and draw some shapes on it. Next, I focused on defining the project's architecture for smooth game development, and here's the structure I came up with. I created a base class called node, which includes properties like node ID, position of x coordinate, and position of y coordinate. This node class will be inherited by all visual objects on the screen. The node class also has two virtual functions, draw and process, and a constructor. Whenever an object is created, this constructor assigns it a unique node ID using a static class called node counter. There is also a singleton class called scene manager that manages all the game scenes. This class maintains a set of pointers to the object that need handling. It also contains two vectors, to remove and to add, for managing addition and deletion of the objects. When I want to add or remove an object, I push it into these vectors. In the next game loop iteration, these vectors are processed to prevent null pointer issues that might arise from immediate deletions. In each iteration of the game loop, the process function for all the objects in the set is called, where each object contains its specific logic. After that, the draw function is called for all the objects. This function contains the specific logic to draw the particular object on the screen. For the objects which not need to be rendered, draw function is empty. For event handling, I stored the most recent captured event in a variable within the scene manager class, which objects can check for events. The scene manager is also responsible for screen transitions, providing functions to change between different screens. After finalizing the architecture, I created a class for the ship that draws a circle on the screen. Next, I built the gun, which is just a rectangle, and made it points toward the mouse pointer using some vector maths. I then coded the bullets, which are just small rectangles. The bullet constructor takes direction and speed as arguments. In each process function call of the bullet class, the position is updated using the direction vector multiplied by speed and delta time. Regarding the delta time, the process function also takes a delta time argument, representing the time passed between the last and current calls. Multiplying by delta time even out the bullet's movement across the frames. For example, without delta time, if a bullet moves along the x-axis at 10 units per call, plus 10 would be added every frame to the x coordinate. If the time between the first and second frame is 2 microseconds and the time between the second and third frame is 4 microseconds, the bullet would appear slower during the second interval. By multiplying the movement vector by delta time, the bullets move 20 units between the first and second frame and 40 units between the second and third frame. Next, I programmed the enemy spawner, which adds a new enemy every second. The enemy constructor takes target and HP as argument, and enemies move toward the target in every process call. For collision detection, I iterated over all the enemy objects and calculated the distance to bullet. If the distance is less than the enemy's radius, the enemy health is reduced. A similar approach is used for enemies colliding with the ship, comparing the distance between the ship and enemy to the sum of their radius. That covers the coding aspect. Here's some gameplay. The project is available on GitHub and I will be working on some more exciting projects, so be sure to subscribe to the channel.